Hello, welcome back to Unrest Digest. This isn't one of the more fun topics that we cover, the ones that we can laugh at least. It's nothing to do with the culture war. Just something that I think we should cover, and I may have some opinions on the content involved in the story. Finley Bowden. Parents jailed for killing baby returned to their care. Beautiful looking baby. Injuries include 57 breaks to his bones, 71 bruises and 2 burns on his left hand. This hits quite close to home. I'm an expecting father, so I don't even know why I covered this, I'm sorry. And they don't normally name the name of the child, so I'm not sure if this is a fake name, but I'll have a picture of the child in the thumbnail, most likely. Beautiful child. A couple who murdered their 10-month-old son 39 days after he was placed back into the care have been jailed for life. Stephen Bowden and partner Shannon Marsden killed Finley Bowden, who died on Christmas Day in 2020. Jesus. If you pardon the pun, Finley was found to have suffered 130 appalling injuries. Bowden and Marsden from Chesterfield, Derbyshire, were ordered to serve a minimum of 29 and 27 years, respectively, at Derby Crown Court on Friday. These are, I'd refer to as undesirables. I personally, these are the kind of prison sentences where everyone agrees should be longer, it should be life permanently. I don't think many people agree there's any coming back from that. I'm not for the death penalty. But I like the whole send them off, send them somewhere. I don't want to pay for them. I don't want to pay for them. I don't want their blood on my hands. Because as a society, if that's our criminal system, crime and punishment system, whatever you want to call it, then yeah, you can argue that some people may want to do that, but I personally don't. I also don't want my tax money going to them either. So send them away. I don't care where you send them, as long as they don't come back. That's my personal opinion. Sentencing Judge Amanda Tipples said the pair had subjected their son to unimaginable cruelty. There was single audible gasp from the pub gallery, with the defendants hunching their seats staring forward as the sentences were passed. Really? The court heard the murder was savage and prolonged with statistic motivation. What was the gasp from? Not enough? Too long? Why? Paramedics were called to the couple's cluttered and filthy terraced home in Holland Road, Old Whittington, in the early hours of Christmas Day after Finley suffered a cardiac arrest. It's always these ugly... They always just... People, they don't look the best, but you'd pass them on the street and you wouldn't think much. And it's one thing you never hear about any... Like, it's always British people who do this stuff. You never hear about it from, like, an immigrant, do you? You never hear them doing this to their children. Cardiac arrest. He was taken to hospital and later pronounced dead. I don't know how you can do that to a child and then be like, oh, I think we should call the ambulance. How about you just leave him at the hospital? Finley's injuries: 57 breaks to his bones, 71 bruises and 2 burns on his left hand. One from a hot, flat surface and the other probably from a cigarette lighter flame. The court heard the fractures to Finley's bones led to him developing infections, including pneumonia and sepsis, that ultimately killed him. Toxicology tests of cannabis was found in Finley's blood, indicating that he must have inhaled smoke in the 24 hours before his death. Maybe that helped to relieve some of the pain. Can only hope. The court heard Bowden, 30, and Marsden, 22, were convicted of murder following a trial, worked together to keep professionals away from Finley to protect each other and cover up serious violence. This included cancelling a house visitor appointment 2 days before he died and telling social services when they arrived unannounced that Finley may have COVID-19 and refusing to let them in. Oh, these evil bastards! Now that is a failure of the state right there, that is. I can't believe this. That's what stopped them coming in? I don't like the whole thing of social services coming into people's home, but if there's like any previous track record of abuse to a child, I don't know if there is here. Maybe this all happened when they got the baby back. But if there's anything that indicates, I think you forego your right as a parent. I'm sorry, or even as an individual. If you've harmed a child in any way, and miraculously you get to keep your child, social service should have a key. They should have a key. I'm sorry. maybe I'd regret that. There would be some situations, but I invite you to debate me on that. This included cancelling a health visitor appointment 2 days before he died and telling social services. Yeah, I read that. The judge, they were both persuasive and accomplished liars who denied Finley medical care that would have saved his life. She said Finley had 46 fractures and 12 other bone fractures included his pelvis, legs and arm, which were inflicted between the 4th and 22nd of December. They required considerable force to inflict him, he could not breathe properly, the court heard. From then, Finley's daily experience was one of considerable pain, distress and suffering. He was no longer able to sit and play with his toys, he was unable to feed himself, the judge said. Bellona Marston, the court had used COVID as a private excuse to keep social workers and family from seeing Finley. She added, no one heard Finley cry or scream in pain because you inflicted the injuries on him together, with one of you fracturing his bones and the other keeping him quiet with your hand over his mouth. Oh, Jesus. What? How do we stop things like this? What do we have to do without infringing on the rights of everyone else? Prosecutor Mary Pryor Casey said Finley's injuries prevented him from eating and causing him to lose significant amounts of weight. Ms. Pryor said Finley was made to sleep in a bedding stained with blood and vomit. The defendants knew they were causing serious harm to Finley and persisted with it. They were indifferent to it, she added. She read victim impact statements from the defendants' relatives, which said Finley was a happily chuckling baby who was callously abused. And they knew about it! Every time you see one of these, every single time, it's, oh, we knew they weren't being very nice to the baby, but do something about it! And then again, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, doesn't it? A lot of times. Ms. Price said the defendants had no ability to provide any account as to what they did or why they did it. No ability? What do you mean, no ability? I have to cut that there. Hello? Thanks for watching.